This is interesting. This is an actual program that ran 6 months ago from Cisco. And you may think of Cisco, and why weren't they here talking B2B? Well, Cisco actually is making a big push into consumer, and Cisco has moved their whole brand to mean video. And this is a push that they're making over the next, well, in the last year and over the next few years. This is a big bet Cisco's made. Obviously, it makes sense. If you sell routers, you want to push lots of data through them, and if you want to push lots of data through them, there's nothing better than video. So we're getting an actual consumer case study from Ken Wirt, the VP of Consumer Marketing at Cisco. Ken, welcome.
Time spent talking shit. Baby, it's all about making it.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to take you through the case study of what we did with digital cribs. And the situation that we faced was looking at home networking. How many people here have a wireless home network at home? Okay, pretty much everybody, and you know this is a special audience, and just how special you are is if you look at people in the United States that have a broadband connection, only about 60% of them have a home network, and outside the US, that percentage is lower. And at Cisco, we're going like, well, why doesn't everybody have a wireless home network? So we did some research around that. What we found is that the number one reason people said, I don't have a home network, is they said, I don't know what I do with one. It wasn't that it was too expensive or they wouldn't know how to set it up, but they weren't sure what to do with it. So what we wanted to do was give them an aspirational goal. So show them someone they could identify with who was using a home network in a way that would be interesting to them, that would make them say, oh, now I understand why I should want to get one of these. And we wanted to do it in a global way that was very efficient and engaging. So we built a website, our consumer website, and we wanted to use video. As John mentioned, we're all about video. We have video not only in telepresence for businesses, but with the flip camera and digital signage and security, all different kinds of video. But say, how could we use that, which is a nice medium for people to understand this kind of aspirational goal? So we started, it's a three-step process. We started with some professional video that we created, and we viewed these as templates. So we went out and we got different kinds of groups that could say, here's how we use technology in our daily lives. It wasn't focused specifically on Cisco. It wasn't even focused specifically on wireless. But if you know people that use technology in their daily lives, they're using wireless of all different kinds today. So we had different groups ranging from Paramore, which is a band that did the music for the Twilight film, to Paul Van Dyk, who's a German DJ. And anybody here know of Paul Van Dyk? So it's pretty good as a hip New York crowd. German DJ, 3 million albums sold, DJ music very popular in Europe. Shane Battier, probably everybody here heard of him, NBA player. Graham Hill, so not sports or music, but an environmentalist, founder of treehugger.com. Martha Lane Fox, entrepreneur, founded lastminute.com, which is a very popular travel site in the UK. And way on the other end of the spectrum, Lincoln Schatz, who's a video performance artist who's created a lot of video performance art that appears in public places. So a whole range of different kinds of people, and we shot basically 3-minute videos of those professionally produced that we put online. And the reason we did that was, well, people know who those people are, but we wanted to really create a template for what came next, which is to try and broaden it from the professionally produced video to get more people engaged and involved in that. So secondly, we went to people we considered semi-pros, and this was a worldwide contest that we created, and we used a partner called filmmaker.com, and this fits in kind of the small company with a big idea that's out there that is, let's say, relatively unknown. So we partnered up with them, but they represent 800 filmmakers worldwide. More than half of those filmmakers are outside the US or aspiring filmmakers. And we ran a contest with them, and we got entries from their worldwide base of filmmakers. And it included the main prize winner was a guy from Brazil who's a musician in Brazil and did an amazing video that used Brazilian music to a surfer in the UK. So this is not your California surfer, but somebody that's a surfer in the UK. And he was able to run his small business from the beach using wireless technologies when he was on the beach, to a Japanese videographer that did wildlife videos in Japan and used wireless technology to create the videos and distribute them. So one thing that happened when you run a contest, these guys made the videos, put them up there. We actually got about 35 videos from these professional filmmakers, but they all have audiences of their own from the other videos they've created. And part of the contest was voting. So they activated their social networks to get the people that know them and follow them to vote for them in the contest. So not only were they providing content, but they were providing an audience for us as well. And from that, we moved out to a user-generated contest. And so we had this in two phases that we called the Heaven and Hell for user-generated video. Heaven was about, why my network is the best home network out there. And we got some amazing people out there that have the most elaborate home networks you can imagine, where they're controlling the drapes and the lights and the heating and the cooling, and they can move video around the home and look at where their dog is sitting when they're at the office. You'd be amazed how many people want to look at where their pet is when they're not at home. The main prize winner was actually a Philippine art student who was interested in computer animation, and he created a really great film in his dorm room at a Philippine university on a 486 computer. I'm not sure anybody I'm pretty sure nobody in this room still has a working 486 computer, but it was about, his part was the hell part. Here's why I really need a new system. But in spite of that, he was able to create some really cool computer animation mixed with live action video for his entry. And then we got some amazingly touching stories, like there's a Hungarian who, in a childhood accident with a power line, became paralyzed. And it was about how having a home network enabled him to get online and form relationships with people. And his entire social community, and what connected him to the real world, was this ability to get online. And the really touching part of it was, even though it was an electrical accident that caused him to be paralyzed, he now works for the utility company in Hungary. And so it was a touching way of showing how what caused him the problem now gave him the occupation that let him reconnect to a social network. And again, we used voting to activate the social network of all the people that contributed films in this area. We used prizes that were relatively inexpensive, about $10,000 for our first prize. As you can see, we had Heaven and Hell, so we gave away a couple of those, but we got more than 135 very high quality video submissions from this contest. And then finally, we activated this through educational institutions, and we had a kind of an east-west throwdown between the NYU Film School and the USC Film School. And we got the actual film departments in those schools to cooperate with us, and they each had, in their respective film courses, 8 teams of students that had to produce films for the course. And they didn't have to participate in our contest, but they were able to. So 8 teams from each school participated. And this was probably the most eye-opening aspect of the whole project for us, because they produced amazing work that was at least on the par with what the agency produced for our original templates. And they recruited people to star in their films that, if we were aspiring to get these people, we probably, wouldn't have thought we would get them. And part of the rules were no payment for the people that appeared in the film. So they got, for example, one group of students got Tim Ferriss, who wrote a book called The 4-Hour Workweek, which spent 32 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list for business books. We had a ballet podcaster. This is a guy who did podcasts of the Anaheim Ballet, and his podcasts have had over 2 million views on YouTube. And one of the topics of the films was a professor named David Milan, who's the top professor in Harvard in terms of the ratings that students give professors. And you don't usually think of Harvard as a place you go for learning about computers, other than Mark Zuckerberg maybe, but he teaches an introductory course in computer science, and it has the highest enrollment, and he has the highest rating of any professor in any undergraduate course at Harvard. And then we had some very offbeat topics like about monks who use computers for meditation. And the quality of these films was really outstanding. So what were the results of doing this three-phase program? Well, in the first place, we quadrupled the traffic to our normal consumer website. We had more than 350,000 views of these videos. Videos were between 2.5 and 3 minutes long. 2/3 of the videos were new to of the viewers were new to our website, so they didn't have a relationship with Cisco.com. As you can imagine, we get a lot of the kinds of geeks that we were talking about in the earlier session here. We don't necessarily get that many consumers that are interested in film, but we got them as a result of this. If you looked at search traffic for the term digital cribs, it increased from 4 searches before we ran this to 34,000 searches a week after we ran this. And the user engagement was very strong. We got more than 167 videos posted from more than 15 countries. And it wasn't just people watching videos, but people actually rating the videos, which was part of the contest, and commenting on the videos as well, which was a strong form of engagement we felt with it. We had lots of social media placements on this. We got some awards, gained market share for the product in our category, and it was one of the best performing business units over time. So what were our learnings if you wanted to repeat something like this? Well, number one, the templates that we produced professionally were very important at the beginning because that showed people the kind of format, the structure that we were looking for. If we just threw it out there and said, create a video for us that's 2 minutes long, well, I'm not sure what we would have gotten. We probably would have gotten more creativity, but I think we got more entries because we gave people a structure. They didn't have to follow it, but in fact, most of the entries followed the basic structure of the template that we created in the beginning. Second is student powers. I would not underestimate students. Students love this kind of thing. The contest value is important to them. They have big social networks. They brought a lot of people into our site. And as I mentioned, we wouldn't have aspired for them to do as well as they did, both in the kinds of people they recruited and the quality of the work that they produced. Third is international engagement. It doesn't have to be just in the US. This is something you can make work internationally. And it's a fact that those subjects drive the traffic and real stories drive consumer engagement. So that's a quick look at digital cribs, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
All right.